everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro.
What's good? How come there's nobody in his chair? Oh my God, the man is working over there doing whatever he's doing. You know, look at this, right? We in the bathroom.
No,
How we gonna?
man,
I'm gonna have to cut and edit the show. It's ad libbing tonight. What is going on?
You ain't got cut nothing, man. We good. I just, I was standing in the cut, I was grooving to the music, man. I was standing up and dancing myself off, man. Shoot, trying to get down with it.
Appreciate it. How you living tonight, brother?
Man, blessed. You know what I'm saying? 6 feet above, 10 toes down.
That's true. Look, another day. What is it? I know it's Thursday, December 9th. Team No Sleep. Oh my goodness, we about to round out the year. I think that's a good thing. I think a lot of us we ready for 2022. Figure out whatever that's going to bring. So looking forward to that.
It's been a tough year, man, all the way around. I mean, no matter what we say or what we're going, I mean, there's been a lot of things we need to deal with. Still, we're still fighting through this COVID thing. It's not over with. As many as people want it to be over with, it's not. So we're still struggling and getting through that. So I think that's one thing I'm looking forward to. Hopefully the New Year's brings some more peace of mind for that. And then also, some of these social injustice things that we're going through, these court hearings that we're seeing and seeing what's kind of how these things are flaring up or panning out, right. All the way from the Rittenhouser to we got the other case coming up in Kentucky. We got, the Jeremy McCormick or the McCormick dude that just, supposedly faked a racial incident happening to him.
Yeah, with the cell phone. Yeah.
No, the Jeremy McCormick, the actor,
the
guy that staged a racial thing that they jumped him or something like that in Chicago. He was an actor on Empire.
I missed that one. Look, I don't know. I've been locked in the lab, focused on activities. So, I don't know what's happening.
It's crazy because like I said, everything's kind of just. I mean, we're going through all these wild times right now, man. So the new year should bring hopefully some peace of mind to some people. Again, prayers to those people, those kids out in Michigan, the situation that happened out there, and everybody else's the senseless violence things is going on. I will applaud the state of Michigan, though. Not only are they, evaluating and charging the child, but I think it's about time somebody stood up to charging the parents with involuntary manslaughter because they were the ones that helped them purchase a gun and all that stuff. So now they're starting to hold more accountability to these senseless things going on. So
you hyped up tonight. You putting the cart before the horse. Is that the right statement there? I don't know. That's one of the stories we gonna talk about. But
you before the horse, something like that. But
you got
we all want to know, man. I just like I said, man, we're into this. We're getting ready to go to the new year. So
yeah.
Before we go to the new year, we got to wrap it up, though, right? We got to talk about all the things that's going on.
That's true.
Currently and in the past, to kind of hopefully bring some closure to it and then move on.
I love it, man. God, man, let me make sure I got my stuff correct. Got my notes ready here. So, because we're gonna talk a little bit more about that whole around that situation as well as some other ones. But let me go and get some shouts out. I see folks coming into the chats there. Maryland's in the building. Let me get my comments right. Oh my gosh, let me make sure everybody can see when you comment. And good to see you. MDH,
like the Purple Hearts.
Yeah, look at that. MDH is in the building. I saw some pictures. I thought she was on the boat today, but I thought it was like 40 degrees in her neck of the woods. So I knew it wasn't today. That was definitely a throwback Thursday picture. What's up with you, MDH? Mm-hmm. Seniors in the building. Good to see you, sir. Now we can officially start the show. Dad is in the building. So good to see you. Look at MDH talking about bring it on. She's over there. Look, folks, I'm going to do a plug for Melanie Diane Howell right now. She is around the corner, really probably 4 people away from having her YouTube channel monetized. She needs 4 more people to subscribe to her channel. She does do-it-yourself marketing. She does social media. She does live streaming tutorials and content. Check her out. I will make sure to put the link to her channel in the comments. Melanie, put your link in the comments as well so I can put it on the screen.
Absolutely.
Rich Vibes, good to see you, brother. Hey, put your link in the comments too, because Rich Vibe is hot DJ based over in the UK. Look, I log on to Mixcloud all the time and check him out. Rich Vibes is the man, so definitely check him out when he's spinning records. Look at Mel's already starting trouble. She's talking about Montel is fired up.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm ready, man. I got people texting me talking about the show right now. So
okay, well, make sure they jump in. I'm seeing a good audience. We're not going to delay. You know, I like to stretch things out a little bit and try to do each story justice. We like to start honestly with the social impact story first lately, and we're gonna go ahead and start with this one right here. So, shouts out to the Negro League baseball players finally getting their flowers. A couple of folks are finally getting their flowers and getting inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. This is a good story. It's a good story that this is happening. I just wish that all of these fantastic stories of recognition, all these fantastic stories of giving your due, giving your flowers, weren't posthumous. Right? This is 80, 90 years too late. Right? Neither one of the two gentlemen that are finally getting inducted, Buck O'Neil and Bud Fowler, are down to actually experience the Cooperstown induction and things of that. But, you know, again, so there's more positive than negative. Just wish again that they were actually around to actually see this happening. But that is actually going to happen on July 24th, 2022. These players will be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Talk to us a little bit about what you think about that, Montel.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. This is a little bit, it's late. It's so late. And I mean, hopefully their grandkids or great grandkids are able to enjoy this and celebrate their great grandfather's legacy. But we're so far, I mean, this is so far behind. I don't understand why baseball or any sport is taking so long to recognize people that paved the way for the people in the past. Obviously, these gentlemen, you know, they were in the Negro League, a viable league that competed with Major League Baseball, where, you know, we know the transition happened with Jackie Robinson, but these guys were pioneers in their own right.
Yeah.
And you know, it's tough that we have to celebrate them so long before, like, our history has to be dug up so far, but, you know, so before they recognize it and gives us credit. It's just, you know, it's an honor. Thank you. But it's late, man. I mean, you know, and baseball should acknowledge it. You know, people should acknowledge. I mean, they should acknowledge it. Maybe this is their way of acknowledging. I don't know, but I'm just like, you know, it makes me upset that it takes so long,
right,
to give us our props or give these men their props and women their props that just paved the way for us to be able to do the things we're doing today.
No, I agree with you.
That's one of the criticism about it, but I mean, at least, you know, better late than never. I guess that's the term that people use. I'm glad they're celebrating it, and I hope that something comes out of it, more so. And I hope we just start to acknowledge more of the Negro League, how they did pave the way for baseball.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's always, and African Americans kind of recognize, especially the ones that are in sports and the ones that are historians in baseball. But I think they need to be more celebrated, more so than ever. I know baseball was trying a little bit the jerseys on in one game. One game they would wear the Negro League jerseys or something like that. And I know one time they kind of all had Jackie Robinson's jersey on. Everybody wore Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, everybody wore 42.
Yeah. But why do we only get one day? Or why can't it be celebrated? You know, Black History Month. Why don't we celebrate all that within baseball? Baseball's not going on at that time, but why don't they celebrate it 1 month or a week throughout baseball to kind of celebrate and recognize those pioneers? Because to be honest with you, baseball's played more like it was in the Negro Leagues than it was in Major League Baseball. You know, those guys were more.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah,
they're more crafty. The way they hit the ball. Now, don't get me wrong. Major League Baseball had greats. You know, Babe Ruth and all them, but the Negro League brought a whole different showmanship to baseball that they execute. So I think they should give some of that. They should give a little bit more love, in my opinion.
I think it's that's a good point, good statement. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You are chopping a little bit tonight, man, and I don't know if what's going to you on Wi-Fi over there, or you got somebody that's streaming Netflix. Yeah,
man, I'm on my same.
You over there, you know, you got that. See, there it is, folks. He just fell off. I knew something was happening over at the Allen House. Somebody was streaming YouTube or whatever the case may be. He's watching the show on 5 different channels. But while we wait for this man to come back, there we go. Mel did put her channel in the comments there, so there it is, folks. Check her out right there on YouTube at Melanie Diane. So, yeah.
Okay,
You back?
I'm back. Yeah, but man, I don't know what happened, bro. Maybe it's a surge in my connection to my neighbor, but I mean, I'm doing the same thing I usually do, so it should be all right.
Yeah, see, if my boy Tall Boy is watching, he'd be laughing right now and saying, "Oh, you got issues," but you know what? That's the joy of going live. So, I'm enjoying it. It's all good. Another story that we got. Let's go and keep it moving because we got a handful of conversations. Let's go from. I think I'm gonna consider this as well, kind of a social impact story. And we want to give shout out to someone who actually is alive, who is living, who was able to see this recognition for their work. Simone Biles is being announced as Time Magazine's 2021 Athlete of the Year. Simone Biles, most decorated gymnast, period, right? From gold medals to just championships, world championships, and things of that nature, to also being an advocate for mental health. Also being an outspoken person for misconduct within the executive ranks of like the gymnastics community and things like that. So she was a key part of the team that got Larry Nassar put away, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. So, she's definitely a good role model, not just for young girls, not just for women who are in the gymnastics field, but just people overall, right? For someone that's doing good, using their platform to speak their mind, to spread truth, to actually help with what's going on in society. So shouts out to Simone Biles for, again, getting that Athlete of the Year award from Time Magazine.
Yeah, I think her contribution to bring mental awareness to the forefront is speaks more volumes than almost her gymnastics accomplishments. I mean, she's basically a spokesperson, a person that can able to, to speak their mind and understand there is mental illness at the top of my game, that they do go through stress and it's not a machine.
Yeah.
So amazing. I like that she's just an amazing young woman that's gonna, I think, keep being a trailblazer within sports industry, and the award is rightfully so deserved.
Yeah, I was trying to find how old she was, and she's 24 years old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Folks, look, if you over 24, if you're double that, if you're 42, whatever the case may be, you got some work to do to catch up, right? Again, the youth are doing some good things. That generation has got some good folks out there that are making moves, making changes, and doing some big things. Look at it, Simone for president, real inspiration, brave, and I repeat all of those things right there. So that's good stuff. So shouts out to Simone for this recognition. You working? I see you looking at the clock over there, but you looking at the phone too. What's going on, bro?
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, I got people pinging me. Just talking about this.
I thought I was doing big things. Trying to launch social networks, trying to launch all kind of e-learning books and stuff. Like, you over there still working. What time is this? It's almost 7:00 in the evening.
Oh man, yeah. You see you exposed me. See, he knows I was working right before we jumped on. They had me doing some work and all that stuff. So
yeah, I just said you were on the toilet, but yeah, you were actually doing
So you
some
try
work.
to throw me under the bus, man. But I'm all good, man. I'm here, everybody. I'm definitely engaged. I'm really excited about today.
Yeah, until the phone rings.
This episode, that's just the end of the year. Yeah, I can't pass up that paycheck. I got miles to feed. So
I know that.
But I'm definitely engaged. I'm definitely excited about what's going on.
No, it's all good. I'm giving you a hard time.
Let's go, man. Let's keep it moving.
I'm just giving you a hard time because that's what I do. We got some news about coaching changes in sports, and especially in college football. We've talked about this for a long time. We've talked about this continuously about better representation, not just at the OC level, not just at the DC level, not just at the quarterback or the running back coach level. Those are all fantastic positions as well, and we need quality people there. But there's been some movements at some well recognized large programs. So let's go ahead and start with Notre Dame. Notre Dame is getting a new head coach, right? Marcus Freeman is actually coming out there, and he's going to be the second black head coach for Notre Dame. So shouts out to him for taking over that well-respected, long historical program. And again, it's going to be a lot of eyes, not just because of it being him, but for it being the program as well.
Yep.
We got we can talk about another one as well, but LSU from an interim perspective, we got Brad Davis, who has just taken over as the interim head coach over at LSU. So again, huge program, huge expectations for these coaches. Give us your thoughts on some of these moves that are happening, and for the fact that we're now starting to see some representation of different folks with different skill sets, different backgrounds, different types of perspectives coming in and leading these larger programs.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I mean, you got to think. I think someone gave me a statistic. I think 85% of all college football is represented by minorities, black and brown. So now they have representation at the head level that are coaching them, and that are doing very, very well. I think Freeman over at Notre Dame, like you said, a lot of eyes on him, but he's well deserving of the job. He's earned his keep to be there and be very successful. I also believe that all these other coaching changes are just now starting to come into play, and they're starting to recognize these guys can draw up X's and O's and manage teams just as good as anybody else. And as much as we don't want to say it, Deion has paved the way. Deion Sanders.
No, nothing wrong with saying that. So talk about that. So why would you say that? Because we got a story about Deion too, but there's nothing wrong with Deion Sanders being kind of the.
Deion Sanders has brought a whole new light on African American coaches, African American head coaches. That African American coaches can do it. Predominantly African American historical black colleges can also do it, and do it on a high level.
Yes,
and also market and gain money and be respected and be liked on TV just like the other schools. It's funny that now Freeman's doing this thing. There'll be some more. Jay Novell just transfer from Nevada over to Colorado State. We have a lot of African American intern coaches. I believe there was another. There's a poly coach. I forgot he's interning for one of the bowl games.
Okay.
So there's a lot of movement going on with black and brown brothers is getting their opportunity. And a lot of them are interim coaches, but I think those interim coaches show that they got the experience to hopefully lead these teams to big wins. So in the future, the next couple of years, they will be head coaches. But back to Deion. Deion has just showed the way that, hey, I know how to build an organization. I know how to build a team. I know how to generate money for the university. People don't know this. Jackson State generated over $30 million this year. That's unheard of an HBCU.
Say that one more time. Jackson State.
$30 million. That was their net gain. $30 million in 1 year with Deion. Matter of fact, it hasn't been a whole year. It's been a half a year with Deion. He's creating a pathway for guys like the brother that's at Texas State. I forgot the running back that played for Houston. I forgot his name. But Hugh Jackson now is not only entertaining, but he just took over the Grambling State job.
Huge. Yes.
We're getting big names in HBCUs because Deion has created a market there, and it's a valuable market that these universities now want to pay these guys millions of dollars to come coach there, which that is unheard of in the HBCU system. Deion is also fighting for the advocacy of HBCUs being able to not only compete but also be included in the bowl games, just like everybody else is, instead of just only having the HBCU SWAC championship and then kind of it's left at that. They don't really have any more after that. But now he's advocating for them to be able to play against the Michigans or against the San Diego States in a bowl game. So man, he says it's God's work, and I believe him, man. I think that brother's he's opening up so many doors to give not only HBCUs recognition, but give black coaches recognition, showing that hey, they can do it on a high level as well. Now, can he compete with Nick Saban and them right now? No. But Nick Saban's been coaching for 40 years.
Right.
Deion's been coaching for maybe 7 years. And he's only been coaching the collegiate level for about 3 years. So put that tenure in his back pocket. He may go down just as good as Nick Saban as far as we know. He won his championship in his first year.
That's true.
Championship in his first year.
So let me back that up a little bit, because we're going to talk about Deion's win there. And do you think that, and folks in the comments as well, Deion having the voice that he has, is it because he's Deion, or is it because the fact that he did just win that championship down there. So right, actually winning speaks volumes to everyone, right? But when you're someone like Prime and you're out there and you've got the cachet, you've got that whole swag about him, he can actually break down some doors. He's doing commercials with Saban. Saban don't do commercials with anybody, right? They're doing Aflac commercials. I don't think anyone else could do that. Do you think that, again, getting everybody in the room to have the conversation at the table and about merging the conferences and now all of these opportunities for these different coaches, right? So the Brad Davises, the Marcus Freemans, and the Hugh Jack. You say that people don't want to give Deion his credit and his props, but I see nothing wrong with that, right? This man is moving and he's really shaking up the entire system, not just the HBCU side, but now we got LSU, now we got Notre Dame. Those are some big programs that people with deep pockets listen to.
Well, I mean, I talked about it before. Deion is aligning the HBCUs to have their own network. I've said that before. I think he's doing a great job. I think now that he's combining the SWAC and he's gotten those guys playing against each other, and he's aligning them all to have the same exact things that the Division I programs have. He's been screaming that for all year. We should be treated the same way. We should have TV time on ESPN.
Yeah.
We should do all these things, and they're getting it.
Yeah.
They're getting it big time. He's aligning them to have their own network because he's just showing them that, hey, I generated $30 million at one school. Can you imagine if every other school in HBCUs just generated $2 more million? There's like 19 other schools. Combine my 30 with that 36, that's $66 million.
Yes. Grown folks' money right there, folks. That's
big time money.
That's grown folks' money, yeah.
So where they used to think that they didn't generate money, that the HBCUs were just HBCUs, they kind of did their own thing, they wouldn't be popular with the masses.
Yeah.
He's showing that they're wrong. And we're talking about the money game because we know money speaks volumes for everybody.
Exactly. Two things: money and winning in sports. That's all that matters. Nothing else really matters.
He's shown that he can win.
Yeah.
He's shown he can have a great bearing personality. And I won't say overbearing, but he has a great personality for TV. He has a great personality for showmanship.
Mm-hmm.
He's a social media genius now. The things he's doing on social media with his teams and the things he's bringing to them. And the fact that now that he's shown that he can generate money. People, I'm telling you, Deion, I don't think Deion will be at Jackson State for long. I think somebody's going to scoop him up to a bigger program.
Yeah.
But if they get that TV network, Deion might not want to leave because that TV network is going to generate a lot more money, not only for him, but I think he knows that's his lane. That's like, hey, I built this. He's
a great ambassador to keep it moving.
Yes,
that's true.
A great
that's true.
Ambassador
that's a good point. That's a good truth. Let me pause. I got three things I want to say right here real quick. Rich Vibes, I see you were having problem putting your link in. Try it one more time, man. One thing for sure, you're able to put comments in because you're a subscriber to the channel. I'm trying something different tonight, so try it one more time. And I know I got some mods out in the comments so they can make sure that your comment gets approved. And then I need to give some shouts out to Marilyn. Appreciate you there for that super chat. Definitely appreciate you on that for your continued support. Melanie brought up a question, and we would be remiss if we didn't bring this up. And this is not, again, something that we shouldn't assume. HBCU, historically Black college and university, are what we're talking about. So that's kind of what the conversation is. Very similar to the Negro League and the Major League Baseball, right? So kind of that whole unfortunate, but what it is, that separate environment, right? So Deion with Jackson State is part of the HBCU environment. So the historically Black colleges and universities, they're now they're no longer on ESPN3. They're on ESPN, the proper channel, right? Because Deion is winning. So I mean, that's kind of how you make it plain right there, right? So and again,
I mean, it's crazy because now I think Wednesdays is HBCU day for when it's the college football season.
Yeah.
So now they have their own special games. Morgan State's been on there, Jackson State, North Carolina, South Carolina State. All those schools have been on there, and now Deion started the HBCU All-Star game. So now the HBCU has their own All-Star game that it will be on. They're the selected players from there. So he's like you said, a great ambassador for it. And I think more former NFL guys or NFL coaches are that's going to be their entry into maybe coaching, or the entry in the gateway to big time coaching is going to be going through the HBCU ranks, which is nothing wrong with that. I've said this before. I hope he's listening. I hope somebody tweets this out. I hope Terrell Owens becomes the head coach of Tennessee Chattanooga. I would love to see him be there where Deion is now at Jackson State, because Chattanooga's his alma mater. That's a HBCU. We got Eddie George, which I didn't say. I forgot his name before, but Eddie George is at Tennessee State. We got Hugh Jackson at Grambling. We got Deion, who's now, Hugh Jackson's at Grambling. Deion's at Jackson. All these things are going up. Eddie Robinson Jr. just took over another program, another HBCU program. So they got some really talented guys that are in that HBCU thing that are doing some big things that are going to be, I think, even catapult that lead even more. And we're going to see a lot of great football equivalent to, I think, the Division I level within those programs.
Oh yeah. I agree. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. And yes, thank you for tuning in. That's what we here to entertain, enlighten, and educate. Hopefully we do a portion of each of that. But I think I'm sitting here. We were talking about it. I think Deion will stay. It doesn't matter, because again, when I mentioned the statement about him being kind of the ambassador for that, and you kept talking about kind of his role and what he's done, I don't. He doesn't need the money, right? Deion's got more money than he needs for lifetimes, and his grandkids are taken care of. So he's building something of a legacy there, and I think he's the right person to be that voice. So I don't think any. Well, I don't want to say any program calls, but I don't think he's really looking to move or do anything like some of these other coaches have been doing. So,
well, I mean, let's be realistic though. I say, how long does he want to stay in Jackson, Mississippi? Jackson, Mississippi is not the metropolis or the biggest city in the world or the biggest revenues place in the world. And let's not be oblivious, like a Florida State calls or a bigger school in Florida calls where he's from. I think Deion will go, and rightfully so. He's earned his right. I didn't believe him as a coach, but I'm becoming a believer of the things that he's doing. I think he would go to those schools, and I think he would have a huge impact in turning those around. Let's be real. Deion are the best recruiters in the nation. They can argue all they want. They can talk about Lincoln Riley. They can talk about all these other dudes. Deion Sanders is one of the best recruiters in the nation. He showed it where he's flipping guys that went to big programs to come down to Jackson State, which is a smaller program, in the FCS program, not a FBS. And also, he's flipping guys that are Division II stars to come on up. And he's one of the first coaches to do that. Within the portal system that's going on, he's utilizing that as a recruiting tool to see guys at lower level to say, hey, I'll bring you up and see if you can prove yourself at this level and let them also be dynamic. He's doing things that people aren't doing yet. And he's being very dynamic about it, and it's proven to working. It's working out very, very well for him. I couldn't be more proud of the things that he's doing as far as being an ambassador for the HBCUs, man. Like I said for you before, we just need an HBCU in California so we can represent true. the whole thing, and we'll be all right.
That's true. We need the whole experience. We need halftime. We need the marching band. We need that institution to be over here on the left coast for sure. But like you're saying, what is Deion doing? He's winning. So shouts out to Jackson State for winning the SWAC title since 2007, heading to the Celebration Bowl. Wow, right? So that's huge. Right. Again, the man comes in. I don't even want to say turn the program around, but I mean, just elevated the program, gave them young players confidence, gave them some of his insight from being able to play on both sides of the field. Right. And again, just gave them some of that Deion swag. And next thing you know, they're the ones hoisting the trophy at the end of the night. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
So I can't say enough, man. I can't say enough, man. The dude is just kicking. He's kicking down doors left and right. Yeah. So more props to him.
I will say, I'm gonna say my teams are winning. I'm gonna leave my Steelers alone because I know they're trying to do something tonight. I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm gonna leave it alone. So hopefully they do something. But Michigan, let's get into Michigan. This is kind of a back and forth kind of story here. This is a little bit. The social impact. This is definitely an update in terms of what's going on with programs as well. But Michigan, the Big Den, went in there and won their championship game. And prior to the game, with all the stuff that was happening in Oxford, right, with the as kind of as we were talking to about at the beginning story about the youngster that went in and started shooting at the school, and then the parents of that 15-year-old boy who I'm just gonna say I'm just glad that they're locked up right now, but the parents who helped and abated that young 15-year-old when he went out and did that. There was a player. There was a student at Oxford. He was a player on the Oxford football team who stood in the gap, right? Kind of stood in the way. He could have ran. He could have gotten himself out of harm's way, but instead, what he did was I'm gonna keep calling it. I'm gonna say he stood in the gap and made sure that others got out, weren't harmed, found their way to an exit or whatever the case may be. And this young man, unfortunately, lost his life during this situation. He wore number 42. The Michigan State. Oh my
Michigan,
God.
man!
Wow!
You cursing? Yeah, that's a curse word out there.
Wow!
Bro.
Oh my! I don't know if I can continue from that. Okay. The Michigan football team wanted to honor the player, honor those lost during that by wearing actually a patch on their jerseys and wearing the number 42. Right, because this player, wore number 42, and come to find out, at the end of the game, when we hit 0-0 time for the game, the score for the game was Michigan 42, and the opposing team 3 points. So, God works in mysterious ways, folks. Because again, honoring those that lost their lives, honoring the student that stood in the gap and helped protect those who were trying to elude and escape and get away from the shooter. And then for the final score to be 42 was just a pretty chilling thing in a good way. It's unfortunate again that folks had to lose their life, but yeah, I'm glad Michigan. Man, I can't believe I said Michigan State. I'm gonna get hate
Man.
on that.
You know what? I think the good thing. I think there needs to be applause for Jim Harbaugh, which he doesn't get enough credit. I think sometimes, but I mean, for him to bring that to his team wanted to really do that. And then, secondly, I do believe, and I don't think it's mentioned in this article, but I do believe Jim Harbaugh is playing for the funeral services for the young man. So
Yes.
I think all the way around, man, I honoring this young man in that way, like you said, symbolism in the most ironic way that they scored 42. They wore the patch 42. They beat their nemesis, Ohio State, in this game. Just a lot of things kind of fell into place where Jim Harbaugh was doing the right things, and it worked itself out on the field. And I think the young man was looking down on them, for being thankful. And I think the family's thankful. But I mean, this is just a tough situation, man, to kind of to deal with. Football does not. It's great for them to play the homage and honor this young man, but nothing can take away that pain for that family.
Yeah, it doesn't bring them back for sure, and it doesn't bring any of the folks that lost their lives back. But that, and you can say coincidence. You can say whatever you want. You can say again. You can say whatever you want. But again, for playing for number 42, whether in result to be you got 42 points, you're wearing a patch that has 42 on your sleeve as well. That's just. Stars are aligning, and just like you say, the young man was looking down on them. So and shouts out to Harbaugh, right? He's a very emotional guy. He's a very animated person. He'll get up and he'll cuss you out in a minute. We saw him, especially when he was head coach in the NFL. So he gave in and saw the need of this coming from his players to actually go out and do this. But he's doing some other things too. Like, he's putting money where his mouth is. So not just for this situation right here, but he's actually taking money out of his pocket and the bonuses that he's going to give that to athletic employees at Michigan that have been affected during this last 15, 16 months of the pandemic. So he's doing more action than just talking. So, shouts out to Harbaugh on that.
Yeah. It was funny. It was funny. I was having a discussion with my son who's in the coaching profession. And we were talking about how, some organizations or some schools don't treat those employees as equals or fair. They look at them kind of beneath them sometimes because they are the security guards. They are, people that are usher. They're the people that the servers and stuff like that. And those are the ones that are affected. And we were just speaking about his situation, and Coach Muschamp, who my son coached for, he would, they would always give their food to the security guards, the leftovers that no one was eating, or after their team is eating and there's some more food left, they would give it to the people that were standing around guarding, or the people that were cleaning up. Not that they're beneath it. It's like, hey, extra food is going to go to waste. So let me give it, here.
Yeah.
You guys can go ahead and have it. Harbaugh doing this is just kind of an extension to that. I think that culture, or that goodwill culture, like, hey, instead, I got enough money. Let me do the right thing. These people are being affected. These people are struggling. A great humanity story. I'm doing the right thing. It's not going to affect me. It doesn't affect my livelihood in any kind of way. Why not let me give this money to some people that it can really, really help? And I wish more of these now coaches that are going to be making these hundreds of millions of dollars into that do the same thing. It's time to, it's time to kind of put humans first.
Yeah, it's a good feel-good story in the midst of a lot of turmoil right there, especially going on around in the Michigan area. So, thank you, Mel, for posting the link here to Rich's YouTube channel. I thought you were going to post your Mixcloud channel too, man, because we want to definitely get that going. It sounds like Grand Central Station over there at the Allen House. Boy, you got old Motorola phones going off. You got the old Nokia phones going on. What is going on, man? I'm giving you I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah, you are, man. You that's the landline and all that stuff.
I don't. I've only got one phone, and I put it on mute.
No one ever calls my landline, but it happens today when I'm on the phone when I'm on the line with you to somebody.
Calls, so. when we out here trying to do these YouTube things, God, that's what I'm saying. Oh, dang it, golly. But those were the stories that I had, man. I know there's a ton of other stuff going on. I brought up the Enes Kanter story and was thinking about that, but in terms of what that all flushes out to be. I'm an advocate for athletes and for people in positions to have a platform to speak their mind and speak their truth. Mm-hmm. So Enes Kanter plays for the Celtics. He's changing his name from Kanter to Freedom. So he and a lot of notable figures within the NBA, so him and LeBron primarily have been going back and forth, right? Ennis is wondering why LeBron's not speaking out more, because again, LeBron kind of is that face of a lot right now. Why he's not talking about the social injustices in China? Why is he not talking about kind of COVID vaccinations and the need to have those types of things? So Ennis is taking it on himself to continue to speak out. He's done that for a while. He's now changing his name, like I said, to Freedom, and he's going to continue on with that advocacy. So shouts out to him for doing him and doing his thing. Let me ask you about that statement right there that I just mentioned about people with platforms, celebrities, entertainers, athletes doing more than just to shut up and dribble. Right. Well, I mean, because that's the statement that we heard 4 or 5 years ago, right? Again, to shut up. But I completely. Let me ask you how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think the same way we like to applaud them and respect them for sharing their platform for speaking. You got to also respect if they don't want to use that platform to speak against some things that are going on as well. It's kind of it has to go. It's a two-way street. Mm-hmm. I know Enes Kanter, Enes Freedom is really passionate about the things that are going on globally. Also in the United States, but definitely globally. He's speaking of those. He's knowledgeable about those things, and especially in this country. I forgot what country he's from, but there's
Turkey. He's from Turkey.
Yeah, there's a lot of injustices, things going on. So he's really passionate about that. And yes, use the platform to talk about those things because other U.S. Turkish people will empathize and understand, and hopefully it gets a global voice because the basketball is a global sport. But also you got to respect the fact that if LeBron isn't as passionate about it or isn't as knowledgeable about it, then you can't fault him for not speaking up on it. I can support you, and he can support him, but maybe he's like, I don't feel comfortable speaking about it because I really don't know anything about the things that you're talking about or the things that you're speaking on that you feel that are social injustice that I just don't have any knowledge about. Mm-hmm. There's things going on in this world, all over this world that we don't know about that I probably would disagree with it.
Yeah.
So with those things, kind of, we got to, you got to respect both ends, I believe.
I agree with that. And folks, I guess we'd love to hear your commentary on that as well. What are your thoughts for, we paid to be entertained by by these entertainers, these athletes and these celebrities and these folks in these positions. So what are your thoughts on again, someone like LeBron James and his Canner, or someone like someone from an NFL who, because there's normally more, we see more athletes on the NFL side speaking about social injustice, so the Colin Kaepernicks of the world, right? So those kind of things. What are your thoughts in terms of what you think that means to again have that platform and speak that message? Do you think that that's a requirement for being again in that position, being in that spotlight to help spread news, to spread awareness of these, doing what Simone Biles is doing again, right? When she's done flipping on the beam, she's going out there saving the world, right? So she really is.
But you got to think though, like, I mean, let's quote Charles Barkley. I'm not a role model.
Okay.
So
I like that.
My obligation isn't to speak to everybody about everything that's going on. My obligation is to play basketball and entertain you on the court.
Yeah,
I get it, but I also do believe you do have a social responsibility to address things that that are affecting the masses and affecting things that you're passionate about. Everybody's not going to agree with you. Everybody's not going to be on the kumbaya thing, but I do believe things like the Donald Sterling situation, things like Black Lives Matter situation, those are things that we do need to speak about and talk about because they affect more masses. And it's just wrong. You know what I mean? It's wrong. Now, like I said, if we were knowledgeable about Enos Cantor's situation, I'm sure we'd probably speak more about it. But I mean, we know there is social injustices within the African American and Latino communities. We know that there's things that are going on. We know there's something wrong. The system is broken, so we should speak about it. We know, anything to do that harm children is wrong, so we speak about it. So the things we know, I think, absolutely speak upon it. But the things you don't know, maybe you shouldn't speak upon it because you may wrongly say something that's wrong.
That's an interesting point. No, that's a good point. Yeah.
Where Enos Cantor is very educated on the things that are going on across the world, people like LeBron and Chris Paul and them may not be. So I can't speak upon something that I'm not knowledgeable because I might misinterpret or say something wrong. It's fine, and we already know athletes and actors and people are scrutinized for every little thing they say on social media.
True.
So, do I walk the line of being careful and speak about things I know about, or do I say, hey, let me just sprout out anything I want because somebody wants me to, and you end up misquoting or missaying something and being scrutinized by everybody?
Yeah, that's a razor thin line for someone that's in the public eye. But I think there's both sides of that, and I agree also with what Mel is saying here. Personally, if we aren't going to allow them to speak, so if we aren't allowing them to speak, then why would we allow Simone to speak as well? So yeah, I completely agree that they should be allowed to do what they need to do to spread messages of social truth and social righteousness. But if you don't know what you're talking about, maybe you should let someone else who knows what they're talking about talk about what they're gonna talk about. So that's a good point as well. That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly clear. I applaud Enos Cantor for you because he's fighting the fight that we know on our side is fighting. He's talking about those things. He's very passionate about those things, and I don't know why he has a problem with LeBron. I know they used to be teammates or something of that nature, and he has a problem with the way LeBron does things. That's a personal issue they need to handle. But I applaud both of them for when they stand up for things that are injustice. Because they do have the platform to be able to talk about.
They can work it out. Look, if Kanye and Drake if Kanye and Drake can get together, they're doing a concert tonight. I'm watching it on Amazon Live.
Okay, hold. Before you go into there. Okay, this whole thing about the Kanye Drake concert, about Free Larry Hoover, right? It's the Free Larry Hoover fund concert fundraiser or whatever they want to call it to do.
Yeah,
Larry Hoover, I know he's an advocate. I know he's wrongly accused. I know there's things, but last I checked, Kanye's a billionaire. Mm-hmm. You don't need to raise money and awareness about Larry Hoover when you have enough money to be able to fund.
Speak on that. Let me go ahead. Let me sit up straight. Say it again.
To spend money on a legal team to help him get out. Where me personally, why aren't you and Drake throwing a benefit concert to help those that lost their lives in Astroworld, the people that got shot in Detroit, homelessness,
Yeah.
All these other issues that you can raise a lot of money for and a lot of awareness for, we're doing it for Larry Hoover. Where Kanye and Drake both have enough money, they could hire a legal team to take care of that publicly or not publicly, quietly, whatever they wanted to do. Why are you taking fans' money and holding this concert to promote that situation? Yes, there's wrongly injustice people, but if you're gonna do it for Larry Hoover, raise all that money for all the other people that are injustice in prison as well. I don't understand why it's just focused on that guy. I know he's from Chicago. I know he was a part of the Disciples. I know he was doing good things in the community, and they supposedly framed him, at least from the things I read, and he's been incarcerated for all the years. I applaud you for getting him out, but it doesn't need to be fans' money. And if you're going to do awareness on masses, because you have the power to do awareness on masses. Let's do homelessness. Like I said, let's do all guys that are illegally, or unjustly locked up. Let's do it on cancer. Let's do it on something that's really going to affect our community. Let's do it on voting, vaccination. There's so many damn things they could do about that would affect the greater good of the community instead of doing it on Larry Hoover. And I'm not belittling Larry Hoover. I read a portion of the articles about him. I read a little bit of literature on books on him. He's a dominating man. I have nothing against him, but I believe this platform could be the wrong platform when they both have enough money out of their own pocket to take care of it themselves.
Let's go there, right? I was going to go talk about another story, but the reason I brought it up, and I was talking about just beefs being kind of laid aside. So the Cantor and the LeBron thing, they should probably talk it out, and the fact that now Kanye and Drake are talking to their best buddies. But you're right. Do something of social good when it affects more than just you financially, right? So again, two multi-millionaires. Many times over.
Billionaire.
One of them's a billionaire. That's true. But again, more money than you need. Why charge fans for this? Why be singularly focused on these particular issues? I think I've said it one time before, even on this stream, and I'm surprised that I said it the first time. One good thing of Kardashian was that she was out there literally working for prisoner rights for the wrongly accused. So, if she's done anything right in her life, I give her props on that. But why are Drake and why are Kanye only focused on this one particular thing when they're partners with Travis Scott? They were probably at Astro World and they know those environments. Look, I worked for Clear Channel Entertainment for 10 years. I was in the mix of those types of environments. I was in mosh pits. I was backstage with these artists, and I've seen what that whole energy looks like and how it becomes a very volatile situation, especially when you have someone who doesn't know what they're doing. There is an art to this whole moshing and this whole dancing thing when you're at these kind of concerts, when you got a lot of people and you got a lot of energy, and someone did see that. So why not affect that? And why not work on that particular situation as well? So talk a little bit about that, man, because now I think we're both riled up a little bit talking about again, man, put your money where your mouth is, but focus on things that aren't just appropriate for you and your interests.
I just don't. I mean, Larry Hoover's been in jail, incarcerated for I think 35 years. I mean, so he's an older gentleman. He deserves to be let out. Yes, he deserves awareness. I'm not saying that at all. That's great. But to throw a benefit sold out concert where both of you guys are damn near billionaires to raise awareness about one person and one cause, if anything, let's talk about getting guns off the street that are killing people in masses in Chicago.
Especially Chicago, yes, sir.
Raise money to get that out of there.
Yeah.
Why aren't we raising money for that? Why aren't we raising money for reform, police reform? Why aren't we raising money for voter awareness or the things that they're trying to do? Why aren't we raising money to bring situations like Aubrey's situation and the young lady that lost her life in the Kentucky situation? Why aren't we bringing masses awareness about those situations? Breonna Taylor, sorry, I forgot her name. Breonna Taylor. Mm-hmm. Why are we having a concert about Larry Hoover? Granted, he's a great activist, but you have enough money by yourself. You could cut a check by yourself with no problem to get one of the best legal teams to help him get out, or to bring light to his case. It doesn't have to be where you're taking these young impressionable people's. What I think a concert now costs about $55. A sold out concert for $55, where you're selling out basically 30,000 people to take their money in order to raise a cause that you guys are bringing awareness to. It doesn't make any sense, man. That's not putting your money where your mouth is. That, to me, that's using people and using your thing to kind of just bring a little bit of awareness, do a show and get paid and maybe flick a little few dollars to Larry Hoover's defense team to do something. That's my opinion. I don't know Drake. I don't know Kanye personally, but if you're a billionaire, $3 million is nothing to you to write a check.
True.
$3 million goes a long way with a legal team. A long way with a legal team.
Yes, it does.
Now, if you say both of them write a check for $3 million, $6 million goes even super longer way with a legal team.
You can feed a lot of miles right there, right?
That I guarantee you put $6 million in a legal team, you got a super team that's gonna get somebody out of jail.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of the crime. So you mean to tell me between a billionaire and a guy that's worth at least I know Drake's worth $100 million, you guys can't write a $3 million check to be able to get this person out and use your platform to make things aware of everything. I feel so sorry for Travis Scott. I listened to an interview for him today about the Astro Road World thing that happened. The guy, he was literally almost sick in the interview. Like he was not aware of the things that was going on because he was in the midst of his concert. He didn't know all the things that were going on. But when he heard about what went on, he was literally shocked. And he's even more in shock now. He's like, I can't believe what happened. Why aren't Drake and things saying, you know what? We're going to do a benefit concert, not only help our boy him, but also let's bring some light and shed some light and help those families that were affected in Astro World. He's our boy.
Drake was there.
Drake was there. So
Drake was at the show. So he knows.
But see, that's something that makes me mad about hip hop and those things in general. Why aren't you cutting your own checks to help your own kind, your own people? You pillage off of us. You want us to buy your CDs. You want us to buy your music. You want us to stream everything. But yeah, when it comes to something that you know you can do good for the masses, it's almost like it's an afterthought. It's a secondary thing. Kanye makes shoes. Kanye makes clothes. He sells these shows for crazy. Matter of fact, he just sold a car or some shit for a lot of money. It's pardon my French, for a whole lot of money. And yet you want to throw a benefit concert for Larry Hoover? Come on, man. There's so much. Throw something for Nipsey Hussle was doing something for his neighborhood.
Wow.
Go renovate that neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay. See, there you go. Yep.
And let's not even do my neighborhood. Let's go Chicago. Chicago by itself. Chicago's had over multiple weekends where there was 100 people shot. Why aren't you doing a concert about we need to get guns off the street? And I'm gonna
your hometown, Kanye. Your town. Yeah.
Your town. This money that we raised in this concert is gonna go for police to fund to help get these guns off our street and stop the killing of these young people. Where's that concert at? That's what I want to know. Where's that concert at? Where's that concert that's gonna stop that young rapper that just got killed, Dolph in Memphis? Or where's that concert that's gonna stop that young man in California's Slim 400 from getting shot? Where's those concerts that say we're gonna bring awareness to gun awareness and violence, and the money's gonna go directly back to them to help fund the police to get these things off the street, or help fund people just to trade guns in? We'll do a gun buyback. Whatever you need to do. Why aren't you bringing awareness to that?
So I'm gonna be devil's advocate with this, and yeah. I don't necessarily. I'm just gonna be devil's advocate, and I'm gonna kind of play off of kind of what Mel is saying right here, right? If they just wrote a check, the public wouldn't know about it. I'm thinking that it's just not sexy enough, right? So I'm thinking that it's just not sexy enough to go out there and fight those real issues, right? To go out there and fight those bigger challenges, those. Let's get the guns off the street. Let's go out there and feed everybody. Let's go and take care of the homeless. It's from a public relations perspective, from a selling CDs, from a selling albums, selling T-shirts, and selling shoes. That's not big enough, right? It doesn't resonate in news. People hear about it all the time, and I'm just asking the question. I'm not necessarily saying that's how I feel, but I'm just wondering again, just trying to put myself into Drake and Kanye's mindset. I got an album coming out. I want to do something. This guy right here is doing something. Let me go and charge for this and have this particular thing. Homelessness and poverty and these other things. That's too big. I don't want to deal with that right now. Let me deal with something that is going to get all the lights right now. Tell me about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm just being Doubting Thomas.
No, I hear you, but that's part of the problem. Why we got to be flashy in order to help? Where's it wrong to help?
That's kind of where I wanted you to go with that. So I did set you up. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you have to be flashy to help someone, or why does it have to be an agenda to help someone? If you really want to help Larry Hoover, cut a check. It's that simple. Yeah. You don't have to have a concert. You don't have to do anything.
Just go out there and just cut a check.
Go find a superpower team that's there in Chicago that can represent him and say, look, I'm gonna cut you a check for $3 million. Work on this case. It's that simple. So
don't have to tell nobody. Don't have to hold a press conference. Don't you know what I'm saying? Don't have to put it on the Instagram story.
And if you do have to do it when he's released, you come and say, I'm supporting him, I released him. I'm the person that did it. I'm the person that helped his legal team to get him out. I'm glad he's home. I'm going to hold him down.
Yeah.
I get that part. That's cool. But why do we got to be sexy about it? Why do we got to do all these things and make this big old this concert, supposedly benefit concert, to do that when one is just one man, and one thing, you have the power by yourself to do it. You don't need other masses to help you do it. You have the power solely by yourself to do it. I guarantee you, Warren Buffett ain't calling nobody to do nothing.
Man, see, now you stepping in it right there. Now you're talking about the man who got all kind of dollars, right? And you're right. Still driving a Buick, and that doesn't have to be flashy or nothing, but he's doing more good with his checkbook than I don't think he wears a pair of Yeezys. I think he's still wearing New Balance.
Yeah, but I'm saying he doesn't have to be flashy. Nope. Zuckerberg doesn't have to be flashy when he wants to do something with his money. Bill Gates ain't flashy with his money. Matter of fact, half the people don't even know Bill Gates Foundation still exists.
That's true. Yeah.
So why are these two of the probably most popular rappers or hip hop artists, or let's just say artists, period, in the industry, got to make this big propaganda for one person when you have the power to affect masses?
So I'm gonna change that whole thing right around, and I'm gonna put some shades of color in that. Why is it always the black artists that have to be the sexy ones with stuff, right? Because there's a lot of rock, country, and again, like I said, I worked in this industry for 10 years, so I know, right? So I know that Aerosmith goes out and does things behind the scenes, and again, they don't do a whole lot of press releases. They don't write anything on their IG stories. They go out and a lot of these other genres, a lot of these other folks do things just to do the right thing. Not saying that we don't do it as well, but again, why do we have to have this 11 p.m. concert tonight with these two gentlemen to...
Let's keep it more relevant. Let's talk about Prince. Prince, who just passed away, God rest his soul. There's stories about Prince. Prince would take his whole concert check and write it to the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, he would.
Yeah. He wouldn't even take his check. He would give it, the check that the promoter and them give him, he would go give it to the Boys and Girls Club and not say anything about it. He wouldn't tell no one about it.
That's true.
He would go to children's hospitals and pay medical bills for people without saying anything. So to me, I don't understand why these particular two artists, because I can't say all artists. I know Jay-Z and Beyonce do things on the under. They don't say anything about it because they're billionaires. They put their money wherever. And there's other artists that do the same exact thing. They don't say anything about it. This right here, man, this just, to me, it just feels wrong. I'm sorry. It feels wrong to me because I do believe you can help more in a benefit concert like this by just helping your city of Chicago, where Larry Hoover is from, where he's a part of started the Disciples and part of that gang culture that was there when he was younger. He was a member of that or a part of that, or he was somewhat associated with it. Why don't you say, you know what, I need to do something to help alleviate that? And if I'm going to help Larry Hoover, again, I say help it on the back end without your own pocketbook.
Huh.
Because that's the way you can do it. Call your ex-wife and say, could you put a case on it? Let me put $3 million of my own money up. Drake, I know you know who Larry Hoover, put $3 million on your dollar and we'll get the super team and they can work on this case alone. But you're taking my money, supposedly taking my money and doing it, for me to be entertained for about an hour and a half, when you can do it yourself, man. That's selfish of both of them. In my opinion.
No, I agree. So I'm gonna me and my son are gonna watch it kind of with very.
You going to the Matrix, huh?
Yeah, no, we're gonna watch it with very discerning eyes, right? I'm gonna go watch it and be really, really, really skeptical. I can't speak, man. It's only coffee in this cup right now, folks. Going to be really apprehensive. Let me use another word about what we're watching, and trying to figure out the why. What's the why behind this, and hear what they say, right? Again, when they do the introductions, when they do the little monologues, and they talk about again why they're doing what they're doing. I'm going to be kind of skeptical about it and try to figure out why they're doing it and why this really doesn't make sense. But we'll see how it all flushes out. We'll probably talk about it next week since we spent a lot of time on today's show talking about it. But it's
this may not be sports and social impact, but this damn show is a social impact. It just doesn't make sense to me, man. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry I went on my little rant, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
This is what
to
we
be able
do.
to do those things. They do those things, man. I mean, you know what's funny? Before we go off, they have promoters, they have managers, they have all these things, right? They both have these things. And you made them between those dudes and those collective minds. Nobody thought this was a dumb idea. Like really, no one said, "Hey, man, this is a dumb idea, man. I don't know if we should do this." I mean, I'm just being real.
Old Arsenio Hall, things that make you go,
If James Hicks is about to go on the big talk show, and you was like, "Man, I'm about to talk about peacocks," I'd be like, "Bro, I don't know if that's a good idea."
That's not your subject matter of expertise, right? You probably shouldn't do that.
I don't know if this is a great idea, bro.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? So I mean, both of their camps, man, are just as fault as they are for nobody telling them.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I really don't get it, man. I mean, I know Kanye's an eccentric guy, and he's kind of in his own world, but I just cannot believe, no one's told him like, bro, we could do this. This could be bigger than just Larry Hoover. This could be way bigger than Larry Hoover, and we can make a real impact in Chicago, in Toronto, where Drake is from,
yeah,
or wherever you, or Astroworld, or wherever you want to be able to help, man. You can help masses and help that brother out by himself, man. Like without even being on point, man. So it's just freaking frustrating that our people do that.
It's getting worse.
It is.
I know we're near the top of the hour here, but again, this is a relevant story that we probably can continue on and probably have another episode on a continued conversation about. But it does seem like it's getting worse because folks are, I don't know if desensitized is the right thing that I'm looking for, but it's just there's I don't know if it's really any the care for our neighbor, the care for humanity, and doing things for the right reason. Again, that this tonight that's going to air on Amazon, just on Amazon Live or wherever it's going to be, just doesn't seem like it's for the right reason. It's I think like Millie said, it's a PR stuff.
It's not seen, man. It's not for the right reasons. Let's just keep it 100. Yeah. It's not for the right reasons. And like I said, Larry Hoover and his family, I wish them the best. I don't, but like I said, this isn't the right platform to promote that and promote the injustices done to him. I think you can make people aware of it and say, hey, we want to give a shout out to Larry Hoover. We're working on this case and do that thing and do it in the midst of a concert helping the greater good. But to have a whole benefit concert to help him out, man, that benefit concert is right there being streamed on Amazon, and those two performing is going to generate hundreds of millions of dollars.
True.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, it doesn't cost $100 million for a legal team to get him out or to work on this case. It doesn't take that much money. $100 million can buy the prison and let everybody free, to be perfectly honest with you.
There you go. See, there you go. There you guys. Oh,
why these guys? Why? You know what I'm saying? So come on, the numbers ain't adding up, bro. It doesn't add up what you guys are doing this for, because it doesn't cost that much money to do that kind of thing. So I'm not sure what the purpose is, man. To be perfectly honest with you, man, it just really it baffles me. Hopefully, like you said, you watch the concert and they said they're gonna do something greater good for Chicago and the cities of Toronto and stuff like that, but if it's for what they're saying it's for Larry Hoover, the people that go and the people that watch it are behooved.
Yeah, Twitter's gonna be blowing up for sure. But I'm gonna watch it, and if they're not doing what they need to be doing, it's not gonna be a good look.
You're gonna just say something about it, and it's gonna still be
pretty much.
You still paid your money for it, man.
Yeah, y'all paid your. You were out there in the cold and at night to watch this show, and I don't know, you're not getting.
Is it free? Is it free on Amazon? Is it free or?
Well, nothing's free, but I think part of Prime.
Okay,
I get it. So yeah.
So yeah, I'm cutting the check towards it. Even though I ain't gonna watch it, he got some of my money too. So I'm guilty as charged to contribute to it. But this is just not the right platform, bro. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, look at that Amazon, right? Make it even worse, unless all the money goes to the cause. But we know it's not. It's going to go to Jeff Bezos' rocket ships and things. We'll leave that alone too. Folks, listen, hold on. Let me make sure while we got folks' attention. You see what we doing here, right? Good night. We getting into some. We started out talking about Simone Biles, then we started talking about the Negro League. Then next thing you know, we started talking about Enes Kanter turning into freedom. And then we got to talking about Drake and Kanye West and the fact that they trifling. This is what we do. This is what we do. The social impact of sport, the social impact of, I think, just everything in society as well. We really are working to build this platform, to build these conversations, and have at times these awkward conversations to enlighten, entertain, and educate. So follow us, keep us in your thoughts and your prayers. If you see something that you don't like what we're doing, let us know. See something that you like what we're doing, share it with somebody. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, because we doing some big things. We're getting ready for 2022. Montel knows I don't sleep. Oh, that's why we call this thing Team No Sleep. Huh. But we doing some big things and got some big plans coming for next year. So I just wanted to throw that little call to action out there to folks. So there we go.
Absolutely, man. So thank you for everybody that's tuning in. I would like to ask everybody, please say a prayer for my best friend, Tim Wadholm. His health is not very, very good right now. He's dealing with cancer. And I just want to give a shout out to my boy. Keep fighting the big battle, man. I love you to death. Please everybody say a prayer for my man.
Definitely, man. And with that, we're gonna head out. Y'all be good to yourself. Take care of everything that you got in your area, in your sphere of influence, and reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while, folks. All right, we out.
Absolutely.